What is going on, everyone? Brian with Trail Theory here, getting you out of the studio and bringing you outside here in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park to give you my review on the Tarptent Dipole 1 Li. Let's take a look. So this isn't my first backpacking tent. It's not my second or even my third. I might have a problem. But being my fourth backpacking tent, I wanted to make sure it did 5 things that my other tents may not have done or done well. So the first is it needed to be easy to set up. I want to get to camp, set my stuff up, get cooking on my dinner so I can just relax for the rest of the day. Second, it needed to be lightweight. I'm carrying a bunch of camera gear now, and we're going on harder trips, and my body just feels better if my pack's lighter. So counting ounces here. Third, it needed to be big enough, even though it's a one-person tent, to fit a wide sleeping pad. Sleep's important to me, and I want to make sure that I can get the best sleep I can, and having a wide sleeping pad actually helps. So it needed to accommodate a wide sleeping pad. The fourth is that even though it's a single wall tent design and not a dual wall tent design, sometimes single wall tents tend to have a little problem with condensation buildup, especially in humid weather. So it needed to have really good ventilation so that didn't happen. And then the last thing is the bathtub floor. If you've watched or listened to the podcast, you know how obsessed I am about having a big bathtub floor. So something that's over, let's say 6 inches is pretty good. My last one was around 4, and after the sleeping pads were down, it really kind of crushed the sides and almost made it even with the sleeping pad, and we almost took on water. So we needed to have a big bathtub floor. So those are the 5 things I needed to check, and spoiler alert, it did all 5. So let's get into the details of why I love this tent. So as you can see, the bathtub floor is pretty big. I'd say it's about 6 inches. It's definitely 2 inches over the sleeping pad. And while we're talking about the sleeping pad, I have my Nemo Tensor regular length, but wide sleeping pad in here. So it's definitely got plenty of room. This pole like the way that they designed the zipper, the pole can be out of the way so you can get into the tent a little easier. That's just another bonus thing that I really like. But you can see there's a ton of room in here. And there's 2 vestibules with 2 zipper entryways on both sides. So just another way that I think the tent really performs well in scenarios where you don't know if you're gonna have a good camp spot, something that's gonna be flat or super rocky on one side. You have another way to get in. So if you can't get in or access the other side, you've got another option. So now this design of the tent is probably what captured me when I first saw it. Having this pole in the front and back side, I believe this is a 21-inch rod, really giving you a lot of headroom and a lot of room at your feet. So if you wanted to store gear, you could. But having this triangular design and then having this optional guide to keep this even sturdier, I could take this out and it still wouldn't matter. It's still not gonna go anywhere. But yeah, this design, giving it this huge window for, again, the ventilation, helping out with the condensation and stuff like that, that was a huge, huge plus and something I had never seen before. So that was a really, really cool design and concept for this tent. So the big ventilation window that I talked about, it's absolutely massive. And like I mentioned, it's on the other side too. So a day like today, where it's not super hot, but got a nice breeze, comes right through. It's like a nice AC unit. Plus, the condensation isn't an issue. All right, so it's a little hard by myself with this big camera, but I'm in the tent now. You can see I have a ton of headroom. You've got these little pockets here. I can put my phone in there for if I need to charge it at night, or more likely probably my headlamp. That way, if I do need to get out in the middle of the night, I can easily grab that and go. But a lot of room for, again, a one-person tent. So I am 5'10", and I'm not even close to touching the end of the tent. So there's a ton of room lengthwise as well as widthwise too. You can see how big interior that window is. Plus on the sides here, in these corners, there's more mesh, and that's more ventilation to help out if it does get some condensation buildup. It'll have something to roll into or roll off of and not into your gear. So, like I mentioned, I needed this tent to be light. I believe with everything, stakes, bags, all the guidelines, it comes out to be about 26.25 ounces. So for a bigger one-person tent, that's pretty good in my book. And if you're not super into trying to be as ultralight as you can be, or weight isn't that big of a deal to you, and you don't want to spend the money on a Dyneema tent, they make a version of this in I believe it's like a nylon polysil. They call it the Dipole 1 DW. One of the things I love about Tarptent as a company is for, I would say, almost all of their designs, they make a Dyneema and non-Dyneema version. So if you didn't want to spend a ton of money on a Dyneema tent, you've got other options and you can still get the same Dipole 1 or 2 design. All in all, this tent was an absolute knockout. It did everything I wanted it to do. It's lightweight, it's easy to set up, big bathtub floor. It can fit my wide sleeping pad, and it has those 2 huge vents, both at the front and back, that I can open up and not have to worry about condensation. So absolutely incredible tent by Tarptent. We're not sponsored by Tarptent at all. This is just my own personal opinion about it. If you have any questions about this tent or any other tents, please feel free to leave a comment down below. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.